Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Edge Sports Network. Summer series continues today. We got Bryce Fowler of Sacramento State men's basketball. Bryce, thanks so much for joining us here on the site today.
No problem. I appreciate you guys having me.
Great to have you on. I know we've kind of been expanding into West Coast basketball here, so it's definitely good to have you on the site. I want to start early on in your career here. I mean, just for starters, what's kind of your first memory of basketball? How'd you really get introduced to the game? I mean, do you kind of remember that very first, moment where you kind of clicked with basketball and just how you kind of got introduced?
Yeah, so both of my parents actually played basketball in high school, and
Hmm.
my mom went and played college basketball. My dad could have, but things just didn't work out. So they obviously didn't force me to play basketball, but it was just something I grew up wanting to do. And actually, my first memory is a little embarrassing because my I think I was 4 when I first played my first game of basketball, and I
Hmm.
of course, it was on like little smaller hoops or whatever, and
Hmm.
I was on the court. And once the game started, I ran crying off the court and ran right into my mom's arms because I just was either too embarrassed or too scared to be all out there by myself. So that's my first
Wow.
first story. So it's kind of weird how it all ended up, but after that, I quickly fell in love. It's just something that was that gave me passion, and it's just something I really enjoyed doing from a young age. So
Hmm.
um, that's that's the story. That's actually a story I don't tell many. So
Oh, wow. So we're getting exclusive access to it right here then. I
yeah,
like to hear that then. So,
exactly.
I mean, at least you're not doing that nowadays. That's pretty good. So be a little bit more of a problem if you were doing that at your age now. But you go through high school basketball, and I'm sure the goal is always college basketball. You get that chance to play Division One, which obviously not a lot of guys have the chance to do that. You see a lot of guys go D2, D3, go to JUCO maybe. But I mean, what kind of led you to choosing Sacramento State? What'd you like about the school? What'd you like about the program? What had you want to continue your career, Division One basketball at Sac State?
Yeah. So I mean, I had only a couple other Division Ones and a couple other Division Twos I were really interested in. I only took one visit to Sacramento State, and it was really quick that it showed that they were the ones that were interested in me the most and
Hmm.
believed in my game the most, and they just they put me at a higher priority than any of the other schools, and I felt that.
Hmm.
And just on the visit, I felt real welcomed by the coaching staff, real welcomed by all the players. I know now that sometimes doing these official visits, it's not always it can get tiring and it can be kind of like a job, but
Hmm.
I know that it still takes that effort and that energy to put into it to get a guy to commit and get a guy to feel welcomed and feel like
Hmm.
he's already a part of the team, even though he's on a 3 or 4 day visit. So
Hmm.
just knowing that all those guys did that for me really meant a lot. And the campus was just really nice, and the academic system there is really put me in a good place.
Hmm.
And they have a tremendous amount of academic support there. So that was another reason, because obviously my mom's a teacher, so she was real adamant on find a place that you'll be able to get a degree to apply to your life as well if
Hmm.
basketball doesn't work out.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's always a big part of it, the academic side of things. Some guys might lose sight of that, just focus on basketball, but it's always good to have that academic, not really backup. You want to put that at the forefront because, someday the basketball career will end. So it's always good to have, a degree and be ready for the real world after basketball. But I know you kind of fit right in at Sac State, pretty much immediately in your freshman year. You averaged 6.3 points, 4 rebounds, couple assists, shot the ball real well, 53%. And I mean, throughout your 3 years at Sacramento State, you've kind of been this do-it-all guy, playing a lot of roles, except center. But you played, every other position, ran a lot of point guard. So I mean, how important is it to you to kind of, be that guy who can run any position? And also, how do you kind of develop that skill set to be able to play multiple positions on the floor?
Yeah, I mean that's something that I even started doing at an early age. I think
Hmm.
my parents and my coaches kind of taught me at an early age that the guy that is the most versatile and the guy that can do the most things when he's in the game, even if he's not scoring, even if he's not um, being the guy with the ball every time down. That guy's going to play, and that guy's going to be in the game when the game matters and when the game's coming to a close. So I just think that I've always kind of learned that at a young age, and it's just shown in my game that, I want to be a guy that's dependable. I want to be a guy that you can put in for any situation, in any position, and be ready to contribute.
Yeah, I mean, interesting stat here. You guys finished this past season with a rebounding margin of 3.8, which was the highest mark in your guys' program since the 1975-1976 season. You obviously play mostly guard. You averaged 4.1 rebounds this year, so clearly, I mean, you really do it all. That's not something we always see from the guard position, guys being able to crash the glass like that. And one thing I want to talk about here with you is just your efficiency, your dependability throughout your career. I know you mentioned you focus on being dependable, but you've missed just one game in your first 3 years. You played 92 out of 93 games. Where's that dependability kind of come from? I mean, basketball, it's a physical sport, no doubt about it. Injuries are very common. But, I mean, how do you just go out there, be that dependable, and is it off-season training? Is it eating right? I mean, what is it to kind of keep your body in shape for the course of the season?
I definitely those things come into play. You
Mm-hmm.
you gotta train your body as if it's a season, so you're not forcing your body to have to adjust quickly to the wear and tear of to the season. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that just continuing to treat your body and just listening to your body. I think that your body will tell you when you're sore, your body will tell you when you're tired, your body will tell you when you feel good. And I think it's just responding to whatever your body tells you, whether it's taking an
Mm-hmm.
ice bath after practice, whether it's getting just treatment on an area that not even hurts, but just kind of
Mm-hmm.
feels a little weird. And I've definitely had some injuries, but I think it's just um, continuing to be there for my teammates and just playing through it, because I think that once you get into the game with all the stuff that comes with it, I think you're not really as focused on the injury once the game
Mm-hmm.
starts. So I think it's a little bit easier to play through an injury when you're surrounded by guys that can that know they have a guy that's dependable and know a guy that wants to get out there and play. And I think that kind of all just leaves your mind once you're on the court with your brothers.
I mean, on the subject of injuries here, you had a game your sophomore season. You got your tooth knocked out against Montana State. Um, I've never had a tooth knocked out. Uh, I mean, just talk about this a little bit. You played 2 nights later against Montana. I feel like most guys would get a tooth knocked out, probably take the week off. I know I would probably. I mean, just go through that a little bit. How was that experience? How'd you kind of come back from that? Because I don't think a lot of guys would.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, I didn't even like the tooth getting knocked out, because once the tooth got knocked out, it kind of busted my lip a little bit, so I had
Uh
to get
huh.
stitches in my lip too. But I didn't even like, with all the adrenaline, I didn't even feel a thing. So
Oh
once
my God.
it got knocked out, I was like, I could feel my mouth was bleeding. I just didn't know where it was. I just thought it was from my lip, and then
Yeah.
I kind of was holding my mouth, and then I was running my tongue across my teeth, and I just felt a gap there, and I was confused, and that kind of worried me more than the actual pain of it. So that was like within the first 6 minutes of the game. So I immediately, not too long after, went to an on-call doctor and
Hmm.
dentist, and was in the chair for about an hour and a half, hour 45, getting my tooth put back in, my lips
Oh.
stitched up, and I just think like I mean, again, like I said before, it's just once you want to be out there with your brothers, and I think
Yeah.
I was in pain for sure. They had medicine that was giving me really bad headaches, so I think it was definitely not the best game I ever played in, but
Hmm.
it was definitely took my mind off the tooth once I was out there, just because I was just playing. It was senior night, so it was just good to celebrate my seniors at the time that year. So I think that was pretty much the main reason why I did it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that would scare me too, just kind of feeling it. Because I would always have dreams that I'd lose a tooth, and I'd wake up and I'd be feeling around like, do I still have my tooth? So I can't really imagine what it feels like to actually lose it, and just the fact that you didn't know either. I mean, I feel like that's pretty surprising that you just kind of the adrenaline took over. So maybe that's a good thing though. You know, maybe you didn't want to feel that pain. So I mean, very unique story right there. And I know each year, I mean, you've just kind of shown improvement. I mean, your sophomore season, you average 8 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 42%. And then this past season, you average nearly 10 points a game, another 4 rebounds and 3 assists, shot 41%. So, I mean, how do you feel comfort wise? I mean, I know you mentioned this team chemistry that's been great, but how do you feel kind of comfort wise with the program? And what's like the off season training look like to just keep improving over your career?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely comfortable just because I've been here. It's kind of crazy. I was thinking about it. I'm the only guy left from my freshman year still on the team, so I feel like a real old guy around here. But I think just kind of just knowing what the coaches expect out of me and out of everybody just kind of gives you that comfortability to know what you're supposed to be doing. And we kind of run similar stuff every year, so it's
Mm-hmm.
like those same kind of patterns. Obviously, the setups are sometimes a little different, but just being used to those quickly. And I think just the coaches kind of give me the freedom to really be aggressive, and especially this past season, just being aggressive. And if my shot's not there, I'll know when to make the play to find somebody else. So I think just the experience alone gives me that comfortability. And then also with the off-season training, usually we have about a training period about 4 weeks after
Mm-hmm.
the season. We start doing just individual practices, just working on skill work and doing some of the stuff that the coaches like to see us improve on, or something that they know we're going to need for the next season. So I think
Mm-hmm.
just that off-season training and then doing stuff on your own that you need to work on, or things that you're good at but you can always take to another level. So I think just a combination of our coaches and then just getting in the gym and doing that, and then also lifting and getting stronger for next season.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you look comfortable through your first 3 years with the program, especially at home. I mean, I got to talk about the home court advantage a little bit over at Sac State. You guys play in one of the smallest gyms in the country, but fans are really close to the action. You guys have a great home court advantage. You've went 77 and 34 dating back to 2012 at home. That's a win percentage of nearly 70%. I mean, what's it like playing in the Nest? How's that atmosphere? I can only imagine it's probably great, but what is it like, actually playing in front of those fans, and how does it kind of pump you guys up to go out there and grab the win?
Yeah, I mean it's actually crazy. Like the last couple games of our season, the home games, we were almost, well, I know our senior night we sold out, and there
Mm-hmm.
was only standing room only. So it's just, especially in how small it is, it creates such a loud and intense vibe, and then
Mm-hmm.
to like it's just like the building almost starts shaking with everybody. So it's just crazy, and it's really fun to play in, even though obviously everybody would like to play in a big old arena.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate our gym, and we know our fans come out to support us, and they're real consistent. So
Mm-hmm.
you get to know some of them, and after the game, whether win or loss, they're always on the sideline once we lose to give us handshakes and just either tell us we did a good job or motivate us even more. So we're real appreciative of them.
Yeah, you guys have shown it on the court. I mean, especially this year, you guys went 16 and 14. Unfortunately, the season was stopped by the pandemic, obviously. But your 16 wins this year were the second most in the program's Division One era, which started back in 1991. You come off a good year like that. You're headed into your senior season now. I mean, how does that year kind of give you confidence for your senior season? I'm sure you guys are trying to build off that year. So, what are kind of your goals for yourself and this team entering your final year of college basketball?
Yeah, I mean, just for me, it's really a basic goal, and it's just something that's not every player may not say, but I just
Hmm.
want to be the best teammate, be best leader, just best person I can be on the team, and I think everybody will join in with me, and we'll all contribute the same, because everybody's important 1 through 16. Doesn't matter if you're the best player, you've been there the longest. You're not going
Hmm.
to win if you don't have guys that are going to contribute and buy into the team. So I think just being there every day, being consistent, being a leader, and then just giving everything I got every day, because I only have, I'm not too many sure how many games exactly we'll have this year. It's probably
Hmm.
around 28, 29, but
Yeah.
that's all I got left. So just want to make the most of that, and then just for a team, I just think we always say just get better every day,
Mhm.
have the most fun in the country, and obviously if we're winning, that's going to contribute to the fun factor. So just win the next game, get better every day, and then just have the most fun in the country. That's pretty much our goal, and everything else will align with that.
Pretty good mottos to live by. I know get better every day is something you've kind of seemed to take to heart throughout your career at Sac State. And I know one reason for your guys' success, maybe the biggest reason. I mean, you guys ranked fifth in the nation in scoring defense this past season. You guys only allowed 59.7 points per game. I mean, what is it like playing for a defensive-minded team like that? Obviously, we talked a little bit earlier about how you kind of are this Swiss Army knife for your team, kind of playing every position. But how is it playing for a team that is so keen on defense? Because it's not something we see too much nowadays. Every team wants to score, score, score. So how is it playing on a team that really is able to shut your opponents down?
I think it's really exciting. I think a lot of guys wouldn't want to go somewhere where they're forced to play defense every possession, and
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely challenging. And there's certain days where even if you're playing good defense, teams make tough shots. So I think it's just it's something that we obviously practice a ton on,
Mm-hmm.
being in the right plug spots, being in the right positions on defense, because we're really just a position-based defense, and that kind of gives us the confidence to guard our guy and knowing that we have help behind us and to
Mm-hmm.
the sides of us. So I think just doing that and practicing it every day, and it really creates a lot of energy, and it really creates a lot of confidence just when you're getting stops, and even if you're struggling on offense, you know that
Mm-hmm.
their defense is still going to hold up, and we might only have to score 50 points today if our defense is so good. So I think it allows you to have off nights on offense
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and I think it just it goes hand in hand with how good we were as a rebounding team, just continuing getting stops and then just getting our guys off the glass was really our main priorities this year in shows.
Yeah, I mean, defense a tough part of the game. It's certainly the grittiest part of the game, but defense does win you championships. So I mean, you guys keep that up. Your senior season, you're gonna definitely see some success. I mean, to close up here, I have three questions left to ask you. First two are pretty fun ones. Last one, you might have thought about it before, you might have not, but we'll get to it. To start here, gonna transition to football a little bit. I hear you're a huge fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I've had one guy on the site before who was also a fan of the Cowboys. So I wanna get your input here. How do you think this Cowboys season's gonna look? I mean, you guys got a great offense, defense. I don't know. You guys had a lot of expectations last season, didn't really live up to them. But what are you looking for this year with this Dallas team?
I was actually telling my mom yesterday wish I was a GM because there's two or three steps I can make to win us a Super Bowl, and
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be controversial, and I don't think everybody's going to like it, but
Let's hear it.
I
Let's hear it.
think you just let Dak sign the franchise tag, and I think you trade him because I don't really like paying a quarterback 35, 36, 37 million a
Mm-hmm.
year. I just think that hinders your team. I think you can still win, but I think it hinders your team. And I think you trade that, I'll even take a first round pick for it, and you take your first round pick, trade it with whatever else the Jets want, get Jamal Adams on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's a game changer, and I think he elevates that defense immediately. And then I think you just sign. There's multiple guys out there I'd sign. I mean, I'd sign Cam Newton, maybe Jameis Winston. I'd have to get somebody else in there just to give him some competition, see how he's doing after the whole
Mm-hmm.
LASIK eye surgery or whatever he got. But either Cam, Jameis. I mean, they have Andy Dalton on the roster. I wouldn't be mad at giving him a shot. So I think the offense is talented enough to where you don't need a superstar quarterback to get the job done. I
Mm-hmm.
think having those pieces help you. But I'm just really excited. I love watching football,
Mm-hmm.
especially during the season. It takes my mind off basketball and just just get all Sunday just to relax and hopefully watch my Cowboys win. Even though we haven't been as good in the past 25 plus years. So hopefully this year we can get it done. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I mean, we might have to tag the Cowboys in the post now. If you got the GM ideas, maybe they'll take a few pages out of your book, make some changes, and get you guys to the Super Bowl. But we'll see what happens right there. I think you guys got a good team this year, though. I mean, definitely a good offense. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Dak, like throughout the next few years, as you kind of mentioned. But maybe the Cowboys will take you up on it. Maybe once the basketball career ends someday, you can head into the front office over in Dallas and make your dreams happen here. But the second question I have for you that's a pretty fun one is if you could play with one NBA player, past or present, if you could have, your kind of dream NBA player as a teammate, who would that player be and why?
Well, I don't know if a lot of guys would choose him, or maybe a lot of guys would now that Last Dance has come out. But I'd definitely love to play with Michael Jordan. That's always been my favorite players. Until my mom's favorite players, and just something that we've always. Obviously, I couldn't watch him live, but a guy that I always watched and wouldn't say I implemented my game on, but just kind of took pieces from just because he was such a fun guy to watch and just such a winner and such a competitor. I just think having a guy like that in your team elevates everybody around it, and you just learn new things. Even though you may not like it all the time, I think it makes everybody better. And I think that having a guy like that, just like the documentary shows, reasons why you win championships, even though it's obviously not all on him. They had a great supporting cast, great coaches. So I think a guy like that just elevates everybody around him.
Not a bad guy to have as a teammate, that's for sure. I'm sure you would see a few championships there if you had him on your team. And I mean, I want to ask you. I mean, you're going into your senior year now, college career coming to a close. You got a skill set that a lot of teams would love to have in the NBA. I mean, that do-it-all, Swiss Army knife type guy. There's a lot of your former Hornets that are currently playing professionally in the G League, overseas. So, I mean, you still have a season left, but have you thought about what you kind of want to do after graduation, what the future is looking like here? I mean, let's look 5 years down the road, suppose. 2025, what's the ideal situation for Bryce Fowler?
I definitely want to still be playing basketball. Hopefully, I prefer to be somewhere overseas. I mean, if I really had to narrow it down, I'd love to. I had a teammate last year in the past 3 years from New Zealand, and I've really shown interest in that area there in Australia since I've got to know him. And so playing in that area would be really fun. But obviously, that's not something I get to decide from. So, but just continuing to play basketball and continuing to get better in my game, meet some cool people, go see some cool places. I think that'd be something that I'd really enjoy, and that would just be fun to do. And just using what I've learned and passing it down to other guys around my area, passing it to future Sac State guys, and just passing on knowledge so everybody can make their dreams come true. It's something that I think would be cool to do.
And it'd be great to see the world too, I feel like. I mean, kind of move around.
Exactly.
Yeah, get that new look at things. So yeah, playing overseas definitely would be a cool option. I mean, just like from a basketball perspective and a lifestyle perspective. So, I mean, best of luck your senior year, and best of luck with the career onward. I mean, we'd love to have you on the site anytime, but Bryce Fowler, Sacramento State, thanks so much for joining us, Bryce.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys for having me on. Really cool, just kind of talk basketball for a little bit. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
No problem at all. I mean, always great to talk basketball when basketball's not going on. I'm sure, everyone needs it. Everyone's dying to talk basketball. So we loved having you on. As I said, always be glad to have you back. We'll put your Twitter down below so people can follow your senior season and your career after college as well. We'll also put a link to Sacramento State's men's basketball page so you guys can follow for news and updates there. But guys, thanks so much for joining us here on Edge Sports Network for another interview in the summer series. As always, we'll see you guys next time.